time for a video we could just call it a conversation, actually. Been wanting to have for a really long time. And this one is about narcissism. So, not that long ago, I had a life-changing moment, if you will. I found out about narcissistic personality disorder. And if any of you who are watching this know about it, or have anybody in your life, toxic people who happen to have narcissistic personality disorder, you will know all about how much it changes your life once you not only find out about it, but once you kind of realize what they're doing, why they're doing it, and that these people are dangerous and you want to get away from them. Okay, so first and foremost, there's something called narcissism, which is pretty obvious. Anybody who knows that story. The Greek or Roman one, I don't remember which one it is. But obviously somebody who loves themselves to a fault. But narcissistic personality disorder, these people they're not born narcissistic per se. They are narcissistic because they were either created into being that from horrible personal traumas, or they were what's called a golden child. Like if it was your mother who was a narcissistic person with NPD, they would have a golden child. And that golden child is more likely to have narcissistic tendencies. Doesn't mean that they're going to have NPD though. But anyways, I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, so this is just me letting everybody kind of know that these things exist. So one thing to know, first and foremost, what are traits of a narcissistic person? And I happen to have an article, and but I will actually be writing a blog about this too. But I have the traits over here, so I'm going to read those to you. Having a sense of self-importance or being grandiose, experiencing fantasies about being influential, famous, or important, exaggerating their abilities, talents, accomplishments, craving admiration and acknowledgement, being preoccupied with beauty, love, power, or success, having an exaggerated sense of being unique, believing that the world owes them something, exploiting others to get what they want, and lacking empathy towards others. Now, in that, there's this thing called overt and covert narcissists. The narcissists, and why this turned into a big deal for me, because the narcissists that are in my life, they're covert. They're not overt. And a good example of an overt narcissist, fan of him or not, and I'm not even getting into politics, is Trump. He's clearly a narcissist. And he is an overt narcissist. I mean, he's very blatantly obvious about his narcissism. And a good way to understand narcissism, though, is that it doesn't matter if they're overt or covert. And I'll get into the covert in a moment. But they're still narcissistic. Water is still water, even if it's in gas form, solid form, or liquid form. They just show it differently, but they're showing the same things in different ways. So I have more of this stuff, and I really want you all to know, like, signs to look for. Passive self-importance. So a covert narcissist, one thing that they would do is give backhanded compliments. They would minimize your accomplishments, and make it so that they, in some way, are more of like the victim in something that happened to you. Then even if it's a wonderful thing, but somehow it affects them and they're a victim. They love to blame and shame others, but they do it in a really, it's not necessarily overt. It's not blatantly obvious. Like, it's not just out there. They love to create confusion. This one's a big one. A lot of confusion. And a lot of times they do that with gaslighting. Gaslighting is like when someone is like, oh, you cheated on me. And then they're like, I'm cheating on you. You're the one who seems to be more of the cheater here because of the time that you went to the store and didn't come back for half an hour. And you know, it's weird when you don't go to the store for, I'm making stuff up right now. So you get my point. It's gaslighting. And maybe that wasn't necessarily the best example, but look up gaslighting and see how many people do that to you. Because it's a form of arguments and things that are used from these narcissists. It's a huge one, so keep an eye out for that. They do a lot of procrastination and disregarding you. Oh my God, the disregarding is huge. My God. Another thing they do, they're emotionally neglectful. Giving with a goal. Okay, so covert narcissists, they seem like the most empathetic people. They're going to be like, you're going to see this person from the outside and you think they're giving and loving and wonderful people, because that's how they reel you in. They make you think that they're these great, good people. But oftentimes the people that are closest to them, they treat them so horribly. Ask somebody who has someone with narcissistic personality disorder in their family, and they will tell you some stories about things that happen behind closed doors. But all those friends around them that they have in that moment, because they're using you in that moment, those friends, they're going to describe these people as amazing, giving, loving, beautiful people. But that family member behind closed doors is going to go, nah, no, but you don't believe me, because if I tell you about this person and the things that they really do and the way that they're really behind closed doors, you'll never believe me. So it's insanely difficult for somebody who is dealing with it, and just, it's heartbreaking because you feel like you have nobody to talk to, but you do, because there's a lot of us out there who have been dealing with these specifically covert narcissists in our lives. And it's really important that you all know that these people exist. You're not crazy. And if someone's doing this to you, if you happen to be in a relationship with somebody who is a covert narcissist, and I tell you right now, go look it up. Find out if this person is. If they are, get away. Break up with them. You love them, you'll get over it. And you'll find somebody that actually really loves you back. Because here's the other thing, is that these people, they don't know. They have no idea that this is going on with them. And they're never going to know. Because even if they go to therapy, for example, they can gaslight and trick a psychologist that they've gotten better. Like a psychologist would be able to figure out that, you know, they have this issue, but they have a tendency to also trick them into thinking that they've gotten better. The other thing is, it's a constant, it's a cycle. I mean, no matter what, you're just going to keep going through these things. So even if you know this person has this is never ending. That's for life, unless these people get help. So, and that help has to be forever, because they're forever a victim. Forever. So if you think of somebody in your head right now and you go, they're always a victim. They always act like a victim of something. They never let go of stuff. Because another thing to know that they do is they constantly act like everything is personally affecting them, because I guess it's just the victim mentality is the best way of putting it, which I keep saying that anyway. So victim mentality. If you know somebody who is constantly acting like and behaving like victim mentality, like they're the victim of something, think about narcissistic personality disorder, look it up and see if that person is that way. If they are, like I said, get away from them. They're bad people. And it doesn't matter what happened to them in their past, because abuse it's never okay. It doesn't matter if someone's entire family was killed, for example, and now you are living the consequences. You didn't do anything, you know nothing of this, but somebody in your life is constantly treating you horribly because of something that happened to them in their lives, in their childhood, and whatever. If they are getting help for it, I applaud them if they can get through that and you can get through it with them. But if this is something that they're not getting any help, they're treating you horribly, why are you, no, you need to leave. And it's horrible to even say that to anybody. It's like, oh, leave somebody you're with. But NPD, yeah, you need to leave. They're bad people. Most sociopaths have narcissistic personality disorder. Just think about that. Now, there are a few situations that you can't get rid of somebody like that in your life. And if that's the case, here's some things to do. Avoid taking it personally. You have nothing to do with the reasons why they say the things they do and the reasons why they do the things they do. You are not personally responsible. Let it go. Laugh at the fact that they have their issues and they're going to say some crazy, weird things. You're going to want to set boundaries, and it's not always going to work. So don't let that get you crazy, because they'll pick up on the boundaries and they'll try and get rid of those immediately. Narcissistic parents have a tendency to do that. But including also like your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and so forth. They'll break those boundaries. But if you can set them, try and set them. Always advocate for yourself though too. You are important and special and worth it. So feel that way about yourself and always advocate for yourself. But don't get into arguments with these people. It's just a matter of knowing that you are good enough, you know. And if someone says something that's completely false, say, that's not true. And that's it. You don't need to explain anything. It's just not true. I hope that makes sense. And then the biggest thing is create a healthy distance. So if you can't get this person out of your life, definitely try and keep yourself away from them as much as you can. You don't have to spend all of your time with somebody if you don't have to spend all of your time with somebody. If it's a boss or something that has NPD, you're with them at the job. Now these days with COVID, you're not with anybody. You may have to deal with an email here or there, but you don't have to make your life about that. Find ways away from it. But they do try to draw you in and drag you in and all that stuff. So it's really difficult dealing with NPD. And now that I know about it, again, I could name the exact people in my life that I know that have narcissistic tendencies, narcissistic personality disorder, or are just flat out crazy and don't have any of that stuff. They just happen to be crazy people. And the crazy people I would keep in my life, people with narcissistic tendencies. It's just a tendency. It's not, which oftentimes, there's people who have narcissistic tendencies for other reasons. But if it's just a tendency and it's not like a severe mental illness, okay. You're not going to be my best friend, but I'm not going to kick you out of my life. NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, if I can. But the people that happen to still be in my life with narcissistic personality disorder, they're there because, to be completely honest, I can't kick them out. So I live with it, and I try to do those things that I was saying, avoid taking it personally, setting boundaries and things like that. But the biggest thing is that first one, avoid taking it personally. I've just really learned to let go of a lot of things, because things are said often when I talk to these people, and it's like, yeah, I know what you're doing, but you're not going to trigger me because I know what you're like. I know what this is. So good luck with you in your life. I'm just going to deal with you in this moment, and then I'm going to go back home and be happy. So I hope this was a lesson to all of you that narcissistic personality disorder exists. Look it up. Make sure that these people are not in your life, and enjoy your time. This is probably the longest video I have ever made. Maybe not. I don't know. Another one to come with parenting hacks. I called it parenting tips, but it's a hack. These are all hacks. Like the hiccups one. Those are hacks. Okay. Until next time, talk to you soon.